Hey guys, a few weeks ago the company AllPowers sent me out their S200 portable power station and their SP26 foldable solar panel. And this little briefcase here is the SP26. This folds out and there's 6 panels that can deliver 10 watts each, so a maximum output of 60 watts. But in the front pocket here, I have the S200 power station. So this is the whole package, and this is what you can carry around to have a big power station and a foldable solar kit. So what I'd like to do in this video is talk about my experience of using both of these products over the last few weeks. I'd like to talk about their features, and I'd like to do some tests to show you how you can use this to charge multiple devices. And that will give you a better understanding as to how this actually works in practice. As with all of my videos, there will be a timeline down below, so please feel free to jump to the part of the video which is relevant to you. The S200 comes packaged with an AC power adapter that allows you to charge its internal lithium-ion battery. It also comes with a manual. It's quite an interesting solution. The lithium-ion battery in here has a capacity of 41,600 milliamps or 154 watt hours, and it can deliver up to 200 watts across its outputs. So as far as outputs go, we've got an AC output at the front, got 2 USB type A ports, we have a power delivery type C port here, and then we have wireless charging on top. So AllPowers have been promoting the fact that this can charge up to 5 devices, but whilst you're still limited to 200 watts, you could theoretically put in a power adapter here to charge more devices using AC, and you could put in a USB adapter here in the type C port, or even the type A ports here. So still limited to 200 watts, but you could, using adapters, theoretically charge up many more devices. The SP26 foldable solar panel comes packaged with a DC charging cable, carabiner clip so that you can hook it up, DC adapters so that you can charge many different devices on the fly, and it comes with a manual as well. AllPowers has online stores for the USA, Canada, UK, Germany and Europe. But they also sell their products on Amazon. And as you would expect, pricing does differ from region to region, and they run promotions a lot as well, so pricing can be different from week to week. But just to give you an idea of pricing, right now here in the UK, the S200 can be picked up for £99.99, and that's after applying a £30 voucher. You can also pick it up with the SP26 solar panel for just £100 more, so that's £199.99 for the S200 and the SP26. But hold that thought, because if you look on the AllPowers website and you look under solar panel, you will not see the SP26 model listed. It has been replaced with the SP27. So AllPowers have sent me out the SP26 model that can output up to 60 watts, but this newer model, the SP27, can output up to 100 watts. That is a significant difference to me. So it does have a different design. You can see that it's got a stand and it's kind of 2 larger panels rather than 6 smaller ones. I've not tested this model, but if it was up to me, I would opt for the newer, more powerful model to get that higher maximum output. And it is worth noting, because if you go onto the Amazon UK store just now, you can pick up the S200 with the SP27 solar panel for exactly the same price. £199.99 for the S200 and SP27 after using a whopping £120 voucher. So as I record this, the S200 is the same price with the SP26 and the SP27. I've not tried the SP27, but that's the model that I would opt for if they're the same price. And even if there is a little bit of a difference in price, I'd still be leaning towards the SP27 model because it's newer and because it does have that higher maximum output. Here I have the whole package. This is the SP26 foldable solar panel kit, and inside is the S200 charging station and its charger. And I want to show you this because I want to give you an idea of size, and in my opinion this is almost exactly the same size as your average laptop bag. This is a 15.6 inch laptop, and as you can see, it's about the same size. It's a little bit chunky, but it is about the size of an average laptop bag. So that's what you can expect if you're going hiking, putting this in your car, taking it out in a bag. That's what you'll be carrying with you. So you open it up and we have here the S200. So this is the S200 charging station. And then we've got its mains charger, UK 3-prong adapter. And finally, we have the manual for the S200. Everything else here is for the solar panel, and I'll show you all of that later. So just to quickly talk about the manual, it comes in a few different languages, as you can see, and if I get it the right way, you can see that it's okay. It's not the most in-depth manual, and in my opinion, it lacks a few, important things that you'd maybe want to know, but it does show you, the ports. It gives you an overview of what the ports are, tells you how to recharge it, talks about wireless charging, and gives you an estimate as to how much usage you could get out of this big battery. But I think that between this manual and the website, you'll figure out just about everything that you need to know about the S200. Let's take a closer look at the S200 and its connection ports. So from a size perspective, the S200 is about the size of a 3.5-inch hard drive enclosure, and it weighs 2.87 pounds or 1.3 kilograms. And like Batman, it comes in all black. So at the side here, you can see there's a vent, and at the other side, you can see there's a vent there as well. And the reason for that is because when AC is enabled, the fans will come on to help cool it down, and the air is dissipated through these vents. So at the front here, we've got the AC output, an LED indicator, power button, 2 USB inputs. And all you have to do to turn it on is that. It's very, very easy to turn on. Just one simple click. In fact, my only complaint is it's actually too easy. It's very easy to knock that and turn it on. But you're not going to drain a lot of battery, just, turn on the LCD screen. To turn it off, just hold the power and it goes off. But like I said, that's it back on. So at the side here, we have Type-C. This supports 60 watts input, and it also supports 60 watts output. And then we've got DC in, and that is what you will plug in your mains adapter to, but it's also what you will plug in your solar panels to. So this is the connection you will use from your solar panel to charge the device, and also the mains charger. You can use one or the other. Now, interestingly, this supports charging from Type-C and from DC in. And if you use both, you significantly cut down your charging time. Now, I'll talk about that later, but just be aware that you can charge using Type-C, using DC in, or both. Finally, we've got AC out or USB out. And the manual calls this DC out, but basically USB out and DC out means all the USB ports. AC means, means AC, it means the adapter here. So I just want to show you the indicators. When you turn it on, the LED screen comes on. You can see it's got 97% battery. It's giving you an estimate of hours, which will change depending on what you're charging. Input, DC out, AC out. And the LED here is green. Now, green means that all of the USB outputs are activated, and that's the default setting when you turn it on and off. I can turn that off by pressing this button here, and it goes off. Now neither AC nor USB is activated. You just have to push that once and the light will go on and off. Now, to activate AC, you have to hold it in for a few seconds. It's not just a simple press. So if I hold it in, the LED light will go red, and the AC here, the AC output, is now activated. And the fans will start spinning as well. So you guys probably can't hear it, but there's a little bit of noise now because I've turned that on. Now, AC only is activated just now, but if I press USB, the light will go yellow. So yellow means USB and AC. Red means only AC. If I turn AC off and push the button here, green, that means only USB. Now, one thing to note is if you have AC or AC and USB turned on, and then you turn off the device, and then you push it back on again, it doesn't default to AC, it defaults back to USB. So that's something to bear in mind, because you might be charging a phone, you might be charging a laptop, and you turn it off, when AC is activated, and then when you turn it back on, it's going to go green because it defaults to a USB output. One thing I've not showed you yet is the base of the S200, and it is something that's worth showing because in addition to the 6 feet that raise this unit off the floor or the desk, you've got this nice overview of specifications. Now you can check the website, check Amazon for features and specs, but I really like the summary here because it's a nice reference for all of the outputs. So you can see portable power station S200 V2.0, the model's APSS002, the capacity 41,600 milliamps, 3.7 volts, 154 watt hours. Now the output information here is great. AC output, continuous 200 watts, surge 240 watts. Now that's a lot of power. To put it into perspective, a MacBook Pro would charge at maximum 100 watts. You would really need a top of the range gaming laptop or something to get close to the 200 watts. So you've got a lot of flexibility here as to how many devices you charge and also how high a device that you charge, how hungry a device that you charge. Just don't do anything stupid. You can see here the surge is 240 watts. Don't plug in a kettle or a toaster that draws 500 watts from the wall. You don't want to do any damage to the device itself. So USB-C, which is both an in and an out, it goes up to 20 volts, 3 amps, which is 60 watts. Then you've got USB A1, A2. And each of those USB type A ports are 5 volts, 2.4 amps, or a maximum 12 watts. But combined, it goes up to 5 volts, 3 amps, or 15 watts. So you can do 15 watts between both of them, or 12 watts if you're just charging one. Now, what that means in practice is that these USB ports will be great for charging batteries, for cameras, for certain phones. But if you want to charge something quickly, like a OnePlus phone or a Samsung phone, or you want to charge something more hungry, like, I don't know, an iPad or something like that, you really want to be using the AC output here or the Type-C output. That will allow you to go above the 12 watts, which is available individually, or 15 watts combined. You can go over that and you can charge at the higher rate. At the bottom here, we can also see wireless charging 5 watts, charger input 18 volts, 2 amps. So wireless charging 5 watts. I'll talk about wireless charging later, but what I will say is it's probably one of the features I've not been impressed with the most. 5 watts is good enough for charging smartwatches, for smart like earphones, like AirPods, etc. It's not the best for a phone. It's going to be a very slow charge, and the connection here isn't as good as you would expect. But I'll show you that later, but just be aware that here, the wireless charging, you are limited to 5 watts. As you know, it's just a simple click to turn the S200 on. And when you do, you can see how much battery is left, the current charging rate, which will say 99 hours if nothing is connected. And you can see the inputs and outputs in watts. In my particular model, you can also see a little bit of dust. It's like a little bit of debris. I can't get rid of that. That's actually underneath the LCD screen and it moves around from time to time. That's just a defect with the model that was sent out to me. So that LCD screen, if there's nothing connected, that will turn off after 30 seconds. It says 20 in the manual, but it is 30 seconds. But if something's charging, that should stay on. Another thing I've noticed is that when you're charging and the input is like 30, 40 watts or something, and you're charging up, when it goes from 99% to 100%, once that battery is fully charged, that input will go back down to 0. So what I'd like to do now is a little charging test. We've got the Type-C input and we've got the DC in input. And what I've got here is a 100 watt Type-C power adapter and cable. And then we've got the mains charger, which was provided with the S200. So in the manual, if I can show you it here, says there's 2 ways to recharge this unit. Now, it does say that Type-C input is 65 watts in this manual, but when I said 60 watts earlier, that was from the official website. It says 60 watts there. And here it says that you can get 36 watts from the wall. So with the wall adapter, it can take 45 hours to recharge. With a 65 watt USB Type-C charger, it's 2 to 3 hours. But if you use both, you can cut it down to 1.5 hours. Now, ideally, the battery life on this right now would be at like 50%, but I've actually charged it up full, which is not ideal. But what I'm going to do just now is just plug in the mains adapter and the Type-C adapter, and we'll just have a look at the inputs and how those change. So I have my Type-C charging cable here, and I've got the DC connection for the mains adapter, and I quickly plugged them in there just to check that it was all connected to my multi adapter correctly, and I actually put the charge up to 98%. So what I'm going to do first is show you the charge from the mains. So put that into the DC in here, and right away it's up to 39 watts. So no going up and down, just 39 watts. And what we'll do now is put in the Type C connection. And 31, 37, it's going up. And it's leveling out at 60 watts. So the official website, in my case anyway, seems to be accurate that it's 60 watts, but I'm getting a little bit more out of the mains adapter. So let's try both now. I want it quickly shot up to 98 watts. Now I'm not sure if this is 99 now. Now I'm not sure if it goes down a little bit, you know, for trickle charging when the battery is closer to capacity. I am at 99% here, but no, it looks like I'm getting a solid 99 watts, which is the maximum charging that you can get from a power adapter and a DC in from the mains. So it's really quick. So if you use this kind of setup, you can get an hour and a half, 2 hours to fully charge the device. And potentially, if you want, rather than using the mains, you could match a power delivery Type C connection here with a solar panel connection. So you could potentially do it that way as well. You've got a Type C connection with a solar panel connection. So pretty good. And I really like the fact that you've got those fast charging options available there. So let's charge some things up. Let's connect a few devices. I don't think I'll get close to the 200 watt limit, but I just want to connect some things up, see them charging, and just show you how this device can be used in practice. So turn it on, and we'll start off with my Samsung Fold 4. So I will enable AC. It goes yellow because both are enabled, and plug it in. So right away you can see super fast charging. And if I open my phone, we'll be measuring. We're going to get a fast charging rate here, that's for sure. Yeah, so that's charging very quickly. It even get higher than that. So yeah, as you would expect, charging very quickly from the AC connection. I'll turn the AC off just now, and that will stop the charge. And then I'm going to take this USB cable, I'm going to put it into the Type C port. So Type C up to 60 watts, and we should get a similar charging rate. Yeah, so we're getting around 60 watts there as well. So I'm going to keep that charging for now. I'll grab an old USB cable. I'll plug this. I've got this the right way. Yeah. Plug this into my old phone. Charge some GoPro batteries up. I think they're already charged, but I just want to see what's going on here. So right away you can see the DC out is going up. But what I can do now is take this MacBook Pro, plug it in, and it won't be enabled yet, but once I turn this AC on, this is what's charging here. And there's a few things you'll see here. In addition to the DC out, for all these different devices, the AC out will go up just now. The fans are spinning, and you can see the estimated charge left is going down, which is to be expected. There's a lot of power going out, so that is going to decrease. So what's happening just now? Well, we've got 24 watts going to two different phones via Type C, Type A, and then the camera charging, and we've got 50 watts going to the MacBook Pro, 51. So the total output is still pretty low, in comparison to the maximum output of 200 watts. 75 watts going out there. But yeah, this is how you would use it. And you could also do some wireless charging as well. But I want to talk about that specifically. I want to talk about wireless charging. So let's disconnect all this and we'll talk about wireless charging. Wireless charging. So the AllPowers S200 supports wireless charging. You can see that here, big and bold. And at the back here, you can see wireless charging 5 watts. So 5 watts, not a lot for charging a smartphone, but more than sufficient for charging smartwatches, for charging the charging case for earphones and different things like that. And I think that's how you should really use this. This should be used for charging AirPods, earphone charging cases and whatnot. It's not great for charging smartphones. The reason being, firstly, 5 watts is not a lot to charge a smartphone. You really want 10, 15 or more. And secondly, this doesn't have a great connection. I've tried my Samsung phone, I've tried my wife's Samsung phone, and it really doesn't work well. Maybe it does better with other brands, but from my tests, this does not seem to be a good wireless charger. So I'll just show you this. This is a very cheap wireless charger I bought from Amazon. It was £8. It supports up to 15 watts, but only delivers 10 watts to my Samsung phone. And look at that. Instant. It just starts charging instantly. As soon as you put it on, it starts charging. That's how it should be. So the marketing material shows that, I'm going to put it this way, that you should put the phone kind of like this. This is how they're telling you to put it. Put it like this. And you will see that eventually it'll get some sort of connection and then it will just disappear again. Now, what you can see perhaps here as well is that my phone does have a case on it, which doesn't seem to be an issue with this charger, but it really does seem to be an issue here. And I'm struggling to show you, but every so often I move it to a position where it does give me a little bit of a charge for a couple of seconds and then it disappears. But I'm not getting any charge here at all. It just simply isn't charging. So if I can take off... Oh, I really wish I'd done that better. But if I've taken off the case here now, I'm hoping that we get a charge. There we go. So now we've got a charge. It's charging. We'll go back here and you can see it's charging now. But it's still a wee bit iffy. You know, it kind of disconnects a little bit every so often. It just doesn't seem to be reliable. I'm not getting a great connection there. And that's without the case. This is naked at the back. So it's measuring here and I am now getting a charge. So it's not the fastest charger in the world. It will work. I am getting up to 5 watts here. It will charge my phone over time. It's something that I can use. Maybe something I use in conjunction with everything else. But it's a little bit frustrating. There's only 5 watts there. And it's a little bit frustrating that one of the cheapest wireless chargers on Amazon works fine with my case. And this just doesn't work with the case at all. So it does have wireless charging capabilities. As you can see, it's wirelessly charging my phone right now, but it doesn't seem to be the strongest wireless charger. It seems to struggle with cases, and I think most of us do use a case with our phone. So yeah, it's maybe not the strongest feature of the S200. So I'm back with the SP26 foldable solar panel. And what I'd like to do at this point is talk about what this offers, talk about what it can do, and show you how it works. And I'd also like to talk about my experience of using a foldable solar panel in Scotland, which went as well as could be expected. So I've taken the S200 and its charger, etc. out. And what we're left with is the SP26 kit. So, as I talked about earlier, kind of referenced the unboxing earlier, what I've got here is a few carabiner clips. And what these are for, you'll see all these hooks at the side. When you expand the solar panels, you can use those clips to hook the solar panels up to a wall, a fence, or something else. And the idea is that you're going to try and get those solar panels into a 30 to 60 degrees optimal angle to capture as much sun as possible. What we've got here is the DC to DC charging cable. So one end has a black tip, the other end has a yellow tip. And I know from the mains charger that the mains charger has a yellow tip, so yellow would go into the S200 and the black would go into the front here. Next up, we have a lot of DC adapters, and this is a nice little addition. What this allows you to do is to connect these up to the solar panel, and you can use it to charge a host of different devices, USB, laptops, etc. It just gives you a little bit more flexibility as to how you use the SP26 to charge, because the The SP26 doesn't require the S200 or any other charger to actually function. If you want, you can just, put this out, put it out in the sunshine, capture some of those rays, and then use some of the ports at the side here to charge a device live, so to speak. So you could use this, just out in the field, hook up your phone, hook up your laptop, and just get a charge, and it will just charge as and when the sun is captured. So it's a nice little addition that they've included these adapters here. It just gives you a little bit more flexibility as to how you use this kit. So we've got some silica gel, and then finally we have the manual. So I thought the manual for the S200 was okay. I think the manual here is quite disappointing, and the reason I'm saying that is you do have, if I capture it, we do have the specifications here, which if I get it into focus, you can see the maximum output 60 watts. We've got USB output 2 times 5 volt 3 amps. I believe the maximum is 15 watts. We've got a USB-C output of up to 60 watts. Then you've got the DC output. And we've got some more information here, such as the folded size, unfolded size, and we've got the weight of 2.4 kilograms or 5.29 ounces. So there is some useful information there about specifications, but it's severely lacking when it comes to showing you how all of this works, because not everyone has used a solar panel before, and as you will see, there's really not a lot of information here to help you get going. So if I kind of tip this up, you will see this power unit here. So this is kind of like the transformer. You've got all the solar panels when it's expanded, and this is how you charge up your devices. This is, where all the power is going to go. So we've got 2 USB type A ports, we've got a type C port, and then we've got DC out. So those are 15 watts, and then you've got 60 watts for type C, then you've got DC out. Now, what's confusing is that there's another DC out here. Now, that's confusing because there's no writing on any of these ports. There's nothing that's self-explanatory, and there's nothing to suggest that you should plug the charging cable, whether it be black or yellow tip, into this one or this one. Now, it turns out after looking at some Amazon images, not on the website because I couldn't find the listing, but on the Amazon image, you can see that this is actually the output. So this is what you would connect out from, and this is what goes to the S200 or another charger. And this is what's called a parallel port. And that's how you would connect this in a series to other solar panels. So this would connect to other solar panels in a series, a parallel port, and this is the DC output. And it's quite good that you can use this without a charger. It means that if for any reason you've lost your charger, you forgot it, you could just charge up and then, power out USB type A, USB type C, or DC out and just use it live. I would say though that considering the fact that this is a few kilograms anyway, this obviously was designed to be used with the S200. That's how it was designed. I mean, it does give you flexibility to use this on its own and with other devices, but these two products do work well as a package, and they were designed to be to work as a package. You can see that the way that it fits in there. So it's quite straightforward once you know how it all works, but I will say that the manual was a little bit disappointing. When I got started with it, I didn't set things up correctly. I don't think I had the cables the right way. I'm not sure I had them in the right ports. And it's a little bit frustrating, especially when someone's paying a few hundred to buy a kit like this. There's no excuse for the manual not being really descriptive as to what each port is, what they do, and how you get going. So I think that's an area they really should work on. They should maybe, improve their manuals, make things a little bit more descriptive. But yeah, that's what we've got in the middle here. You've got some options for USB, DC out, parallel port 2. So I have the SP26 here, and I have the DC charging cable plugged in, but the black tip side plugged into the front of the power unit. And this charging cable just needs to go to the DC input of the S200, like so. So all I've done is plugged in the charging cable. I've zipped around it so that the DC adapters, etc. don't come out, and then I've put it into the DC input of the S200. It would be the same if I was going into a different power station or a different power bank, anything that accepts a DC input. And it really is that easy to set up. All you have to do is unfold this, make sure you've got some sunshine, you're in a good position, you'll generate power, and that power can be transferred to the S200. That is how it's all set up. So once you know what you're doing, once you understand how the cables work, it is quite straightforward. And what I really love about this is how quick and easy it is to set up. This can be unfolded and folded very easily. So you've got the solar panels all folded up. There's Velcro holding it together here, and all you have to do is like that. And then, as you can see, all of the solar panels come out. So there's not a lot of setup involved here. You just let the Velcro go. It will just burst open like this. And then you've got 6 panels which offer a maximum of 10 watts output. So a maximum of 60 watts via the DC output or Type-C output. And they recommend an angle of 30 to 60 degrees. Just make sure it's not flat or vertical. Try and find somewhere in between. And you should get a good charging rate, in theory. My experience a few weeks ago, initially, it was a little bit difficult. I didn't go right outside. I just went to the balcony of one of our bedrooms. I set it up at an angle and I just left it for a few hours. And after 3, 4, 5 hours, I got about 12%. Now, in that particular day, it was sunny for a while, it was cloudy for a while, and then it was sunny again. There was a little bit of rain. These aren't waterproof, these panels. They're kind of splash proof. So you want to avoid the rain if possible. But there was a little bit of sunshine and I got it to 12%. Now, they do say that, you can charge the S200 fully with this kit in 3 to 4 hours of good sunshine. I got 12%. But there's a lot of factors to take into account here. One is that although it was in a good position, it was still partially in the shade because it was in a balcony. It wasn't fully outside. So imagine if I went out to a field, out in the grass, I would have got a faster charging rate. And also, I live in Scotland. It's a cloudy country. Even when we do get good sunshine, we're not going to get as good exposure as other countries. So it's just the reality of living in the UK and Ireland that, we don't get a lot of sunlight compared to other countries. But I had low expectations for this. I must admit, I did have low expectations of any solar panel working well in the UK. 12%, I think I'd be able to get like 25 to 50% if I went outside, no shade, a really sunny day. I'm hoping that I would get a faster charging rate, but it's not something I can comment on. It's very difficult for me to do tests like that here, both from a time perspective, and when I do get time, I don't get the weather. But overall, despite the charging rate being slower than what they said was possible, I was really impressed. It was very easy to set up. You just unfold it, you just connect it to the S200. Once you know what you're doing, this is very, very easy to use. So there you have it, guys. This has been a look at the AllPowers S200 portable charging station and the SP26 foldable solar panel. I've spent a few weeks with these products now at this point, and there's still some more things for me to find out. I'd love to do more tests with the solar panels in particular, but after a few weeks, I have been quite impressed with this package. I think it's a really interesting solution, and kudos to the company for sending these products out to me to check out. But looking on Amazon, they do seem to be quite competitively priced against other solutions on the market, certainly for a battery that has nearly 42,000 milliamps. So the overall solution here does seem fairly priced as well. Now, I've spoke at length about the power station and the foldable solar panels, but just to summarize, the solar panels, not the best instructions, but once you get going, once you get it set up, it's very easy and quick to set up. You just ungrip the Velcro, let it pop out, plug it in and start charging. In hindsight, I wish I spent some more time practicing with the charging, getting a better position. But even in the shade, I was able to get some charge to the S200. It's just not that easy in Scotland with the weather. But the S200 in particular, I was really impressed with this. I've had a lot of fun using this about the house. It's been very, very useful. On the negative side, the wireless charger here, it's only 5 watts. It doesn't have a great connection with my smartphone when the case is on it. But I've been using the AC adapter and the Type-C power delivery port here. I've been using these to charge my laptops, my tablets, and my smartphones. They charge them incredibly quickly, very easy to use. There's some Type-A ports there as well, which admittedly I've not been using as much. But I really do love the LCD panel here as well. You can see at a glance what the battery life is like, what's left, what the charging rate is like, and what the input and output is in watts. So overall, the package works really well. Now, theoretically, this can charge my Samsung Fold 4 about 9 times or so, but it's not something I've been paying too close attention to, because sometimes I charge this at 10%, sometimes I charge at 30 or 40% if I'm heading out. So it's quite a difficult thing to, for me, practically with a wife and son to measure scientifically. But I have been kind of eyeballing how much is left in the capacity, and not touching it for a day or so, it only seems to drop 1% or even less than that. So yeah, it seems to hold its charge quite well. How well it holds its charge over time, that's something I can't say just now, and it's something you always have to monitor with power banks. So I hope you've enjoyed this review. I've tried to analyze a lot of different things and show you how it all works. But as always, do your research. Look at other reviewers. There's a lot of great reviews of both of these products on YouTube. Please do check out those videos as well to give you a more comprehensive view as to what these products can do. Check out the latest prices and make sure you're not paying over the odds as well. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video and I hope you found it useful. So thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.